Bibbidi boppity dobo. Biddy biddy
Bitty
biddy
bitty
bo.
bitty 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 bitty.
Yeehaw. Great. Great job, everybody. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DigiVerse DiveCast, the only Digimon podcast where half of the hosts were almost late because we were watching wrestling.
Bryan Danielson's world champions. Check
Let's
that out.
go! Woo! I personally would have, I think I would have, Strickland to keep the belt, but whatever, it's fine.
He ain't got much time left. Sorg can win it back later.
Ah, fine. This podcast is hosted by me, Lotte, who did not think of anything to, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Someone
Are
else
the
is
rest of
going
you gonna introduce yourselves, or?
Yeah, let me go last.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. I'm
Okay.
Neon. I've never seen the movie before, so that'll be fun.
Oh, that's right, you hadn't.
Yeah.
I'm Bridget. I'm really fucking tired. I got nothing, dude. Leave me alone.
Oh.
I'm Momo, and on all turns, the when digivolving effects on level 7 Digimon don't activate.
Fuck.
God
Fuck.
damn it.
All right. So this week we covered Revenge of Diablomon or Diablomon Strikes Back, whichever you prefer, because I honestly think they're both pretty damn good titles. And it was the 30-minute long epilogue movie, kind of, to Adventure 02.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes place a couple months after the show ended.
I assume this is another one of those Toei Film Festival things since it's so
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, it only being half an hour long, I assume it was one of those summer film things. So, we're not really going to have much to talk about in the movie itself, because not a whole lot, really happens in the movie.
It's just cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's still in the style of the previous three, but feels like it has comparatively so much less going on, even compared to the 20-minute short film.
Mm-hmm. But goddamn, are some of the sequences in this movie fucking pretty.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still the same character designer and animation director as
Yes.
Hurricane Touchdown. They just went a
Yeah,
lot less
'cause it looks-
weird with the visuals. It's a lot more traditionally just good looking.
Mhm.
Yeah, the style, less out there sequences, but at least visually, it looks a lot more like Hurricane Touchdown than the other one too.
Mhm.
Yeah, because this one, I assume is that direct. It's very definitely not Mamoru Hosoda. This one,
No,
It's
so
a
it is
lot.
like-
It's all the lines are a lot looser. Characters all look very wobbly all the time.
Mhm.
you can also kind of tell by it's still using the same color palette, but it's not the internet sequences in this one are a lot less bright and
Yes.
saturated the way what they looked in our war game.
It's clearly not the same theme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do not have the red line work or anything like that, so.
I will say I think we can start on someone like that because fucking it's
Yeah.
basically the start of the movie. I felt like that kind of made the visual callback to our war game a little weak because it's and this is not a huge complaint. I'm not grousing over this too bad or anything. It was just I get what you're going for here, but just you're kind of missing too much of the style for it to really hit me. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
I think the most oh, that's kind of weird is whenever they use Kuromons and they're just 3D.
They're
Yes.
the 3D specific so, it's this really funny thing. The 3D when they're out of the screens looks fine enough for the 2000s, but specifically the little sequence when they try to get out of the computer screens and that 3D looks really funnily bad.
Yeah. It is jarring how different the 3D
Yeah,
of them popping out looks.
I think it's animated fine, but it does not blend at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they made no effort to blend it.
It's very funny looking. But yeah, when they're just kind of floating around, it's 3D Kuromons. At some points I was like, oh shit, this is 3D, huh? I didn't even notice until there was one particular one where the shading was weird.
Again, I think even the blending is a little better when they're floating around. It is just specifically the shots where they're going going out of the computer screens that look off.
Very,
Yeah.
very funny. But yeah. So basically, the movie starts off with just it's at first it's completely silent, which is really off-putting. With just like,
They're still fucking playing Bolero in these fucking movies, dude. God damn
yep,
it.
the
They
bolero
love
slowly starts to
Bolero.
kick in.
And it just cuts to like everyone just going about their day.
Hmm. And then Kuromon starts showing up from, emails and stuff. Also, in all of these emails include embarrassing photos of all of the original, well, not even all the original Digidestined.
Just like the main
Specifically,
three.
Taichi and Yamato.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it specifically has a vendetta against the Taichi and Yamato, actually. They're like, those fuck-ass fucking kids got me last time. Fuck them. I hate them.
Sora just happens to be included in Yamato's photo.
Yeah.
Very funny that like Yamato's photo is this kind of cool photo of him walking with Sora, and Taichi's photo is him having wet the bed when he was like 3 years old.
You know what? All things considered, considering the fact that Matt's supposed to be like Yamato's meant to be like a rock star during this,
Mhm.
his one might actually be more damaging long term.
It's the domestic photo of him and his wife.
Yeah,
God.
on that fucking like, it's like that one story of like an AKB idol being like caught having a boyfriend and then like her entire career got ruined.
Yeah.
Although that's big. I mean, obviously not always an idol thing, but like fucking any celebrity you find out they're dating someone, it's like, oh, that's big news, big
Mhm.
Yeah.
scandal.
Of course. Oh god. So we're just kind of like going through like each of the characters and what they're up to right now. Joe is in the middle of because like essentially Kosuro notices that all the Kurumon are being brought to the real world and all this shit. So he gathers everyone up except the people who can't make it, which are specifically Sora because she was at a fucking tennis camp the whole
Remember when she played soccer?
Yeah, remember when she played soccer? But she's been at tennis camp, so she's on her way back. Joe is busy trying to get the results from his high school entrance exams.
And like the Kurumon are already like fucking with machines because like
Yeah.
Sora can't get her, like Sora's train isn't showing up, and like and they're telling Joe his grade, he's got a failing grade or something like that.
Hmm. Mimi is currently on a plane, and she is, of course, listening to fucking Bolero. And I was like, come on.
And getting mad because the fucking American flight doesn't have not being Nato.
Insane. God, she's such a bitch. It's awesome. Ugh. So yeah, and then once the people who are actually able to show up are there, Koshiro explains the whole like, oh yeah, there was Diablomon. It was this whole thing. Takaru casually mentions that he tried to launch nukes at Japan, and everyone just kind of moves past that point without talking about it.
Like, just the Ken, who I think has not said a single word in the movie by that point, just like just stares at him when he says that.
Yeah, Ken's very silent throughout this movie. It's like,
Well, for like
He's
the
very
first bit.
he speaks a little more later, but how prominent he has surprisingly little lines. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like in general this movie was like really like,
Light on the script.
yeah, like the actual dialogue. There's very little of it. It's like
Yeah.
really just what they need when they need it. It's kind of weird.
Again, it's a very to the point movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the machines are fucking, or the Kurumon rather are fucking with all the machines. Pricing is getting weird. Like this woman picks up a thing
Yeah,
of meat, and it's
There-
like
it's named Taichi.
oh, the first one is
I-
named Yamato, and it costs 980 yen. The second one is named Taichi, and it costs 380 yen.
This like I like that this implies to me that like while he hates both of them, he hates Taichi significantly more than Yamato.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And like that, and the fucking fact that he used a photo of Taichi when he was a baby having wet the bed is just like, oh, he
I-
really hates this fucking kid.
There's a bit in like when Kosher was explaining everything, and like I think Daisuke goes, "Who's that?" And then Taichi just very bad. That's
That's me.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, geez.
Gee Willikers.
I will also say you can tell that this movie has like just sort of an excuse plot because like literally like Kosher's like Diablomon came back. He just did.
Yeah.
And they like They don't go further than that. It's just Diablomon's back. That's it. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
What do you want?
They say some shit like he probably scattered his data when he got killed, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
It's like
Yeah.
one shred of data survived and it multiplied, and they're just like, "That's it. That's why he's back. We're moving."
It's like, sure, good enough,
Yeah.
I guess. Let's go.
It's
Let's go.
whatever.
So at this point, all the kids kind of spread out. Taichi and Yamato go to the internet because they're just like, "Oh well, fucking Omegamon killed him last time. Let's just do it again." And Daisuke is immediately just like, "No, we're gonna go with you." And Taichi's like, "No, the babies can stay here and take care of the other babies."
There's this, like, if I were to describe at all what the main theme of this movie is, like, at least trying to be, it's like sort of like I guess, like, especially with the stuff at the end, it's like moving on to the next generation or some shit
Passing of the
deal.
torch, yeah.
Passing of the torch, which is like fine. Like, it doesn't not work, but it's just like we're at like the end of Zero
Yeah.
Two. This was like the thing for the start of this thing.
Like, actually, I'll save that till we're. I'll say this till we hit the end of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So at this point, all the other kids are going around. There are little like short scenes of each of them gathering up a Kuramon, and they're all very cute and funny. But
like
nothing.
like this little baby,
Yeah.
looking like toddler who found the Kuramon and is like, "Give me! I know you can't have it. It's
Mm.
mine."
That's actually
Mine.
that's actually a representation of me.
God.
And like-
Leon, I'm taking your fucking Kuramon.
And then Chibimon pops out and is like, "That's no fair. You have one."
Yeah.
I
Just
would
like-
also be like, no, fuck you. What do you mean you get one?
I think it's funny,
Mine is
Leon.
leaking IP addresses.
I think it's funny, Leon, that you said it's a representation of you, considering you weren't even fucking born when this movie came out.
Stop being such a fucking baby, Leon.
Grow up.
I don't know what you want from me. You want me to change when I was born?
Yeah. If I could.
Work on it.
Yeah. Like,
Fuck.
it would improve yourself, for God's sake.
There's something wrong with y'all.
There's a part on the train where Daisuke and Ken encounter like a mob of Kuramon because everyone gets an email at the same time. And there's a small scuffle that happens off screen, but because they had orders to not attack them because it would probably cause the Kuramon to start evolving, but they don't, despite the fact that Vmon does attack several of them, and Koshiro's like, that's weird.
It's like they should be eager to evolve or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, why aren't they evolving when you attack them? That's strange.
I love it. Also, V was like, "I'm sorry, Dice."
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because he also evolves off screen too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
yeah,
evolves
Worm
off
on him,
Yeah,
over
he's
there.
it cuts to the train stopping and he's dragging Vmon out of the train.
It's
Why'd
like,
you have to-
yeah.
He's like, why'd you have to digivolve, idiot?
You dumbass, you fucking moron. Meanwhile, both of them have like a bundle of Kuramon just like in their arms.
I think my favorite part is like none of the Kuramon ever fight back. They're just kind of like, yeah, we'll sit here.
They're
Some of
vibing.
them run around a bit.
One of them pretends to be a soccer ball. And like, I love that one specifically because it's like causing a mess at like a soccer practice, and then we cut to Takeru and Iori, who are just kind of like in the stands, being like, "So like, we're just gonna."
And then there's
There's
a little-
about that.
and then there's a lady over the speaker that's like, please don't let your pets out onto the field.
Yeah.
No,
And fucking-
I think they didn't even realize it was a Kuramon.
They're just
And then
sitting
fucking Padamon's like, Digimon aren't pets.
there. We're not pets. We're people too. We should have
They're
rights.
People too.
I think Iori's like, "Wait a minute, that's not a ball."
My God. So
It may not be a ball, but boy, does it sure look kickable.
That's your son. How do you say that? How could you say that about him?
Those Kuramon are not my son. My son is not related to this movie.
Oh, are you saying your Kuramon's not like the others? It's one of the good ones?
I mean, the
Uh-oh.
words came out of your mouth, not mine.
Okay. Well, what that judgment will be passed when it is, appropriate.
Huh?
Don't worry.
I really like these like I forget if our war game had these, or like these like simplified versions of everyone's faces for their email profiles.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah, they're clearly based on the Aurora game, like, email,
Mhm.
profiles.
Because maybe I'm misremembering. Did they just have like their actual faces for our war game, or did they do this?
They did
Oh,
this. The
did they
only
do it?
one that is a normal profile shot, in
Oh,
fact,
right.
is Willis, who was edited in from this for the Digimon movie.
I forgot about that.
It's where in the email where he warns Izzy
Oh,
about the nuclear missiles heading towards Japan.
Leon, I am
but we can get into that
so
later.
I'm so fucking excited to have you watch that movie for the first time with all of us in call.
Oh.
It's gonna be so good.
Oh no.
Oh, so exciting. Yeah, so they're they're just doing their thing. Taichi and Yamato have gone to the internet and they just kind of got into fucking Omegamon. There's no sequence for this. They just do it.
They like turn it. They just warp Digivolve into like just the heads.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
I mean, it's cool. I'm just like, they really didn't even give him an Evo sequence, huh? My god.
Taichi and Yamato are just riding on the head.
Yeah. So Omegamon, approaches. They find Diaboromon just in its little like cocoon, thing. And there's like 100 billion million Kuromon just like all around it, and it is preventing them from being able to like hit it. Like they keep throwing themselves in the way.
Also, I'm not insane, right? For like the bit where Omegamon's attacking here, they are just reusing cuts
Yes.
from our war game.
Yes, they are. Specifically, like the cut of him, like
pulling out the sword, or
yes,
the gun.
Those are all, and even the sword slaps. Those are all reused cuts of animation. However, I don't mind that because the sequence we get later with Omegamon is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't mean everything with Omegamon, just this part specifically.
Yeah, I did realize that as well. Oh god. So I think at some point someone screams because like the Omegamon fight is being broadcast to like the world, and like one of the people watching screams like, "Do a better attack!"
Yeah,
they're all
better attacks.
Like fucking do something.
Come on.
Daisuke and Ken decide that they're gonna go ahead and help anyway, even though they were told to stay in the real world. So they have Miyako actually do something for a change because she is supposed to be the techie of the new group. So they're just like, oh yeah, Miyako, do the thing you were probably supposed to be doing throughout the entire show and be a computer whiz.
Okay. I'll open the door.
Open the door. And then she opens many doors. Many, many doors.
Just, I think Hog goes like, I don't think you're supposed to. I think you only needed one.
She gets a little carried away. And then we get what is, in my opinion, the coolest sequence in the entire movie, which is Takaru and Hikari show up to help with Anjumon and Anjuamon. And Diaboromon has like created a like multi-layered barrier of the Kuromon, and they fly forward and through it to like break through them all, and then tackle Diaboromon and are like holding him in place, and they're like, fucking do it!
Get him! Kill him now!
So Omegamon rushes forward and does one of the sickest combos ever, where Hikari screams for Taichi, and Omegamon stabs Diaboromon through the face, and then Takaru calls for Yamato, and Omegamon shoves the cannon into his stomach and does a point-blank Supreme Cannon. Fucking awesome.
Well, that's it. Movie's over.
Yeah, they got him. That's it. Roll credits.
Yep.
But no, unfortunately, the million billion Kuromon all just kind of start escaping through the many, many exits Miyako opened and then blocking them off afterward. Oops. Etoble.
Oops. And then it's like, oh, they weren't after. It's like, oh, Diaboromon wasn't after Taichi Yamato the whole time.
It was a trap. It was a trap. Oh no! And so they all start escaping to the real world.
He just wanted an exit.
Yes. Yeah, they all start escaping to the real world. I believe Daisuke is the one that does this, but he probably tells Miyako to do it, where they broadcast a message that just says, "To the Kuramon, we'll be waiting at Tokyo Bay from the chosen children."
Or I think he just says like, "Oh, we need to round them up" or something
Mhm.
like that.
But, like, yeah, there's, like, a message that's displayed on, like, multiple screens, and all the Kuramon start, congregating toward Tokyo Bay.
And they steal Wormmon and Vmon.
Yep. Those 2 get stolen away, which is unfortunate because now they can't use Imperial Dramon to get to the lake or, Tokyo Bay quickly, so they start hoofing it. And, it is, not going well. As it turns out, running that distance on a time crunch for 11-year-olds is kinda hard.
Yep.
Although, in this bit, I think my favorite line in the entire movie happens,
Mhm.
which is where Ken, like Daisuke's getting really tired. He's like, "Oh man, I can't do this anymore." And Ken says, "You know, you'll never steal the ball from me if you're like that."
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
it's like yay, throwback to the soccer bit.
Like, oh
Yay.
yeah, these guys were soccer rivals at one point. The show kind of forgot that.
Yeah.
Many things happened again.
I think soccer became the smallest of his priorities at a certain point, yeah.
I mean, you gotta have hobbies.
Yeah, his hobby was
Hobbies
Wormmon.
is his friends.
He's getting used to having those. Sorry, it's like 1,000,000 degrees in my room right now, and I'm, like, trying to not die. At
Nice.
some yeah, no, it'd be a problem. At some point, Daisuke runs face first into a bus stop sign. That was funny.
I've done this before.
Ha no, you haven't.
I have walked into poles before. Yes, I
Yeah, but
have.
like, did you hear the fucking sound that
Yeah.
I
it
wasn't
made
the
when
pole. That
Boom.
was
Daisuke?
his head.
It was fucking like I think his skull might have fractured there. Like, not that he'd notice any difference, but like, like I don't know,
Yeah.
worth looking into.
Yeah, no, like, it might have been one of those injuries that, like, it's nothing at first, but then, like, 20 years down the line, he gets bopped on the head a little bit, and it just kills him, like, immediately because of
His
because
br-
of that.
his brain starts leaking out of his skull or whatever's there,
The
I guess.
the tragic ending to the 3rd, sequel movie they're gonna announce in January. I have a couple notes that just say Mimi is here, yay, because at some point she shows up and
Yeah.
starts talking to
And
Kojiro.
it's like, Coach, it's like, Mimi, this is the time, Mimi.
Now it's like we really gotta focus on the world-ending threat that is currently happening.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's like the Tokyo Bay River is now just filled with Kuramon.
Mhm. They've just all kind of arrived and are floating in the water having a good time, until they all begin, like, amassing into a large just ball, which turns into a big old fucking egg.
Yeah, it's the cheese.
Shout out to Cheese.
Shoutouts to cheese.
At this point, like, where this is like this whole part has been cutting back and forth between, Daisuke and Ken just running. And the egg then hatches with everyone, like, surrounding the bay watching it. And I was reminded watching this movie, God, Armageddon is fucking creepy. What a
Yeah.
what a creepy fucking design, and just the way it moves and the way it looks, it's awesome. I think it was very clearly supposed to be like a face hugger.
Yeah.
Probably inspired by that, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Good
like,
luck finding a fucking face big enough to hug with that thing, though. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it didn't want to
Fucking
miss.
Grace Novamon, maybe? That might be
I
too big.
yeah, this is maybe going a little too, but I also like as a little TCG aside, like
Mhm.
in the TCG, Armageddon has like I don't know if the 17 one does it. I assume it does, but like at least the old one was like you can delete the Diablomon token to just play it, and I like that that's kind of a reference to how in this movie like he doesn't necessarily evolve off of the Diablomon. He just kind of pops out of all the
Yeah.
data.
A
The
similar effect. The 17 one is you shuffle unidentified cards back from your trash back into the deck. Reduces play cost.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
That's actually almost a little more referential to this effect because it's like multiple things, but
Yeah.
let him just drop.
just amassing themselves into the Armageddon,
fucking guy.
which is very funny because they don't actually name it in the movie itself. When did they name Armageddon actually?
I mean, it probably has this name. It's just never said in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Probably just a reference book, yeah.
Oh yeah, fair
Like,
enough.
I don't think they ever said like Antilomon or Cherubimon in the movie.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's
I don't
always just like Coco. It's always just Chocomon.
Did they even do Gargamon in the movie?
I don't think they did.
Jesus.
I don't
Christ.
think they did Wendigomon either.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
no, they
just all
didn't.
Chocomon and Gummymon.
Fucked up. So Daisuke and Ken are busy dying, attempting to run all the way to Tokyo Bay, and Joe shows up with a bike. At which point,
This is like one of my favorite bits of the movie.
yeah. At which point, Daisuke gently reminds Joe, "We're two people."
Ah.
I see.
At which point, a girl just cycles past on her bike, and he just starts screaming at her.
I need your bike.
Use your bike.
In the subs I watched, translated it as "We're two men."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which
We're
was
two boys.
a very interesting way to phrase that, Daisuke.
You can't do that.
That's illegal. So we get a very, very cool sequence of Omegamon fighting Armageddon. That's real. That's like it's just a cool sequence.
Yeah, he's like diving all over the place, doing like cool shots.
And then of course he gets fucking obliterated and has basically just gotten owned super hard. I believe at this his arms just fall off at this point, right?
There's like a bit where like he tries to stab him in the head,
Yeah.
and he's like stuck there, and then Armageddon will just blast him point blank, and it like rips both his arms off.
Yeah, he's just kind of like standing in the water. Both his arms are gone, and then his eyes kind of go away. And Taichi and Yamato are just like, "Oh no."
We might need some backup.
God, I'm sorry. You probably said it. I had to zone out for a second.
Mhm.
Fucking shots of Omegamon during this fight are so cool.
Yes.
Like he doesn't get a lot in this movie, obviously, and like most of the internet fight is just reused or board game animation. But the few shots they like do of him of like the way he moves, the fucking barrage of like these cannon blasts and Armageddon's. Oh, it's such a cool sequence of shots.
The fights again, both of the fights against Armageddon look so good. They are good looking. At this point, Daisuke and Ken finally arrive on the scene to see the shitstorm that has, kind of wound up happening. And they start calling out for Vmon and Wormmon. And like at first they can't find them, but then like the entire crowd kind of like splits apart for them, and it fucking rules.
There's also a thing where like the only people seemingly who can even see like all the stuff going on is like children, which I
Yeah.
guess is kind of meant to fit a little more into the whole next generation kind of theme.
Yeah, there are several adults that are just kind of ignoring what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get obviously Target starts playing, which is awesome. And we get Imperial Dramon, and there's a really fucking awesome sequence of Dragon Mode versus Armageddon, where it like swoops in and it has like the rapid fire Gatling blast and shit.
There's like a cool bit where flies over Taichi's head. I think that's when like Sora shows up to like cheer up him and Yamato.
Yeah, that's something. I think I made a note about it where I'm just like, man, there's some weird Taichi Sora Yamato stuff in this movie.
Yeah, they're kind of like almost implying the throuple here.
It's
really funny.
Like wait, shit, we don't want to commit to Yamato too hard. You know what? Fucking, it's not just the Dubs guilty of this. Fuck this.
Yeah,
it's a poly now.
I do.
It's really funny. I assume that the final episode wasn't made, but I like the idea of them going, well, we don't want to commit to that too hard. And then the epilogue comes out, and they're like, man, are you fucking kidding me?
God damn it!
So,
never mind.
So, what I will admit, in a little bit of contrast to our war game, something I appreciate is that like even if it's not much, all the other 0-1 kids get to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was very much like I think intentional that in our war game there was this sort of melancholy about how seemingly unable like already the adventure kids were to meet back up. So it's still like a nice like I don't know kind of hopeful contrast, but like even if it doesn't always work out, even if like obviously like several of them run into issues doing it, they can still by the end of it all get together and
Hmm.
help in their own ways. Except Mimi, I don't really know what the fuck she really like accomplished here, but
She was there for me. She was there for me.
It was supporting Koshiro.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if the events of our war game kind of made all of them realize, oh, we can't like just go and live our lives. Like we need to be able to stay in contact.
like it isn't over
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Like shit can still happen. We should probably
Like it didn't just end when we beat Apocalypse.
Mhm. Yeah, even in Venturo 2, they're much more like able to quickly gather together than they were before. Nice little
When
touch.
Also
digital
really funny.
gates.
Also I was thinking about it. It's really funny that Mimi you like took a plane when it's like I feel like if you take like you quite literally can just take a shortcut for the digital world, right? Like that's like 10 minutes of travel.
Knowing
Yeah.
Mimi,
Probably
she
with
probably
her
did it for
family.
fun.
Probably with her family.
Yeah.
You know how it is
You
sometimes.
wanted to take the plane.
Yeah. She wanted to have a nice flight.
Flights aren't
'Cause
nice.
That's fancy.
Flight didn't even have
I
Naruto.
did you see how close those seats were together? That bitch was fucking flying like economy.
He was flying economy for fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing fun about flying fucking economy. You ever been on like an 8-hour economy flight? It fucking blows ass.
Listen, if all
really
you're
good.
taking is first class, maybe economy's a little bit interesting sometimes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Anyway. So Imperial starts getting wrecked. Blast hits it, transitions into fighter mode, which is kind of cool. And then, again, we're having like he fires fucking Giga Death and it creates a massive fucking explosion. And Pokemon. Armageddon just kind of no-sells it. At which
When
point
you are a super ultimate bottom text.
So, fighter mode is also, like, basically in tatters. Like, the cape wings are, like, shredded and shit. And at this point, it's just kind of like a "we can't give up" type of thing that causes, Agumon and Gabumon to kinda, like
To come back to life.
Yeah. They come back to life, de-digivolve, but the
The Omnimon
Body-
body, like,
yeah.
transforms.
into a big old fucking sword. And once Imperial Dramon grabs it, we get fucking Paladin mode, who is cool as hell.
I'm holding up my brand new Paladin mode cards. I like Paladin. I think Paladin mode is like probably my favorite form of Imperial Dramon.
Yeah, no, he's really fucking cool.
I love the the shift from like the dark colors and like the sort of bad devilish wings to like the angel wings. I also just really like Imperial Dramon's like shades of like blue and yellow with the white color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very good color scheme for a Digimon.
Yeah.
So, Paladin mode pretty much just one shots.
Big
Armageddon.
swing.
Yeah.
I will say the way that he like holds the sword as he's flying towards it to like stab it with, like it looks kind of the way he holds it looks very funny to me.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this doesn't look quite right. Then he stabs him in the head and he starts leaking Kuramon everywhere.
I'm always doing this.
I'm not even gonna question that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna.
That's healthy.
Listen, sometimes you get stabbed with a sword and a bunch of little guys come out of your head.
You know what? Sure. So all the Kuramon are, kind of just floating in the air, and they realize, oh god, he's gonna get away again. We gotta do something. So I forget who it is suggests it. I think it's either Koshiro or Iori. One of them suggests,
I think Iori's like, wait a minute, that's right, the fucking emails.
yeah. So I was like, everyone, point your phones at the sword. And so we get a bunch of, beams of light going into the sword, which allows Paladin mode to just kind of evaporate all the Kuramon.
They really try to make this like some sort of like full circle for our adventure as a whole because they hear like the whistle from
Yeah.
the short film. Uh, all
And
the
then the
beeps.
harmonica.
Oh yeah, the harmonica from Yamato. All the beeps that the phones make play Butterfly.
Yeah, I wasn't when the whistle and harmonica, like with the whistle, I was like, okay, sure. And then the harmonica came up and I was just like, what? Huh?
It
Yeah,
did. It does. Like that's what I was more thinking of, especially with this. And then, well, there's the credits. It really does come off like they were really wanting to like bookend this like little like continuity they had because obviously like there's like references and stuff
Yeah.
to like them, but what was it? But like this, like all the until at least until Cross Wars, like everything else basically exists in its own bubble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Again, I think more than anything, like it is this. I guess you could almost imply it like the next generation thing isn't even necessarily in reference to O2, but just like sort of a hint that like okay, like literally after this movie, like things are going to be very different from now on, and you're going to have to like
Yeah.
learn to just take that.
Mhm.
Like the Omegamon like giving his powers to the Imperial Dramon is a very like passing of the torch kind of moment where it's like, oh okay, like like the old sort of comforting days of adventure, like even including Zero Two's place in this is kind of weird, but I get the general idea of like the old comforting days of adventure are like coming to an end. We're moving to a new stage of this franchise, and that's just like life,
Mhm.
and you're gonna have to learn to deal with that. Now, now, don't worry about the part where our schedule for the next like several months is still them just repeatedly going back to the adventure continuity after this.
Yeah, no, this
Don't worry about that, but
this was supposed to be the end of it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Bandai
The nostalgia books are too tasty.
yeah, unfortunately Bandai really likes money and the majority of the content we're going to be covering is fucking gutter trash. But hey, some of it's good.
yeah,
Two pieces of it are good.
two bits out again, I guess. Yeah.
And we're not doing the review
Um.
until
Yeah. Um. I guess I'll save it until I actually get to the end.
Mhm. I mean that is like the end of the movie. Like the Kermons
Yeah.
are deleted and the movie ends.
The credit sequence plays.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
credit sequence is a really gay Daisuke Ken pick in there, and then
I will say they do another thruple pick there. That's kind of funny.
yeah,
Um.
I got weird thing for them to do.
Um. I will say like this isn't like a great movie, right? Like there's not that much going on in it. It's not that interesting. It's cool. It's fun. I at least find this like a much cleaner and nicer cap off to Zero Two than the show's ending. So like
Yes,
I feel like
God.
I can appreciate it for that.
Mm. Yeah, I came out of this movie thinking that was neat.
Yeah, it's like fine. Definitely a step down from what we have been covering before in terms of movies, but like it looks nice, it's cute, it's fun. Got like a neat message.
Yeah,
I like that shot at the end of everyone on the train.
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I I like the shot of Imperial on Paloma that's on the screen right now. That's the part of this fuck ass card I have to play now. Cool shot.
All right, Shin Dub Zone.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. This is the
So,
last one, gang. Well,
so
besides.
this dub zone was not going to happen. However, the copy of the movie I grabbed had both the English and Japanese audio, and it defaulted to English. Now, very funny thing about this movie specifically. In Japan, this movie came out in 2001, toward the end of the year. I believe it was I have the date pulled up right here. No, actually, beginning of the year. It was on March 3rd, 2001 is when this movie premiered. Do you guys know when this movie was dubbed? by Saban.
I know this was actually like part of when Disney took over Digimon for a bit because it's like the same era where they took over Power Rangers because they kind of just bought a bunch of Saban's rights at the time, I think. So I know that this was like a Disney era dub, which means it was like several years after this movie came out, right?
This movie was dubbed on August 5th, 2005.
Yeah, I was literally thinking '05, yeah.
Now, very interesting thing about the fact that this was dubbed in '05 is that the season of Digimon airing in 2005, at least the dub, was Frontiers. So imagine my shock when this video file starts playing and I'm hit with the opening to the English Digimon Frontiers
Holy
theme.
fuck.
Digimon.
Forever united as one.
I was just like, what the? Oh my god, this movie was dubbed when Frontiers was airing. Oh my
So-
god.
What I understand about this, I think Disney specifically handled the Frontier and Savers dubs.
I
think those
believe
were like
so,
the
yes.
two Disney handled. But like, there was the Saban era of like original to Tamers. They did the movie. God, they did the fucking movie. But then after Tamers, like, like 'cause especially like, these movies are 30 minutes long. They there wasn't really much financial incentive for Saban to like license these and put them out. And then
Mhm.
after like Tamers, they were just like, okay, well the craze is over, and they just fucking dropped it like a hot fucking potato. I also think Saban was just like actually dying at the time, so
Yep.
there was that too.
But not only did
And-
they dub this movie, over the course of the
Yeah,
next
I-
3 months, they dubbed all of them.
Yeah, because I was getting to that.
sorry.
Where when Disney took this over and they started doing like the Frontier dub, they were like, hey, there are these like unused like there are these undubbed because there was like this movie and the two Tamers ones. Right.
Yes.
And they were like, hey, we got these. Like we have the rights to these. We can like air these as like little TV movies as a quick little nostalgia thing, I guess, fill up our time slot a little bit. So that's how
Mhm.
these dubs came to be, and then they've never, as far as I know, like these dubs have never received any home video release. I think people just had like recordings of these, or like just actually the files somehow, and resynchronized them to Japanese home video releases of these movies.
I believe that is the case, yes. Uh, another fun fact, I saw this movie dubbed on TV. I very, very vividly remember seeing it. I believe it was airing as part of, like, a thing along with one of the Pokemon movies, 'cause I remember seeing Destiny Deoxys, like, the same night I saw this movie on a TV screen.
There was a time where like Disney had like the airing rights to both Pokemon and Digimon.
It was wild.
Weird.
Mhm.
Weird.
Yep. It was when I was still living in Florida. I would have been, what, like 11 years old at the time? Like,
Mhm.
like crazy for like, just, I was just like, oh my God, I've seen this dubbed. What the fuck? Yeah. So, like, just really bizarre little rabbit hole I went down because of accidentally hearing the first 2 seconds of this dubbed. So, like, I quickly scrubbed through the dub. And there's nothing crazy because again, this was done way later. So like
Disney's dubs were probably, I think, the like besides the 2020 dub, unfortunately, the most like solid dubs Digimon had received. As far as I know, especially fucking Data Squad or Savers was really fucking faithful to the Japanese script to almost a fault.
yeah, I do remember
That's
that.
that's how we get Lord Ninemon, who was called Crusadermon in Frontier, is in Data Squad called Rodo Nightmon
God.
or Road Nightmon or something. Or no, it's Load Nightmon. That was
Load
it.
Nightmon, yeah. What a fucking weird god.
Yeah.
I mean, not to
It
give
can't
them
be a lord. That's obviously not a guy.
Yeah, to give them some credit, at least like a lodestone is a thing, so maybe they were thinking something along those
Yeah,
lines.
but it's like loading, like
Yeah.
LOAD.
Yeah.
Digimon.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pronounced. Yeah, it's spelled load.
oh, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume this movie, like Disney was fine when it came to dubbing this shit. So I assume that like this movie fine. The thing I have to wonder, especially because it was like so many years later, at least like sound wise, how many of the original guys did they actually get back for these?
So I was literally about to talk about that. I believe the only one they couldn't get was Ty. Because
Really?
I immediately noticed. Oh god, I had his fucking thing pulled up. Where is
That's
it?
really funny because nowadays the original voice actor for Taichi is like the only one who keeps coming back.
Yep. Yeah, the original voice actor being Joshua Seth, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joshua stuff.
In only this movie, he was voiced by Jason Spizak. It's Spizak or Spizik? I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Spisak. The only time he's ever voiced Taichi. Specifically this movie. Really bizarre because like it's really obvious. Like he's kind of trying to do a Thai voice, but not. It's very very noticeable. So like he's the only one I looked up because he was the only one that was really obvious. There may have been other people that were recast. I just didn't notice because they were doing too good of an impression. But at the very least, like Davis and Ken were definitely still like the usual.
That is fascinating because
Yeah.
those dubs, the dub for this movie is like 4 years later,
Oh yeah.
basically.
Really bizarre. It's just like this dub is such a fascinating little. This I guess the Tamers dubs too because those were 2 years after that show aired, 3 years
Yeah,
even.
about
Yeah.
for 2 to 3. Yeah,
It's very funny because like they were clearly doing these as like an event type of thing because it was one a month and then the Frontier movie premiered 2 weeks after
oh,
the
they were
Tamers
probably
movie.
trying to hype up the Frontier movie because Frontier was actually like their thing that was airing. So they were like,
Yep.
I don't know, Digimon movie marathon kind of or movie month
Mhm.
sort of deal.
God. Imagine if all the dub zones could be this interesting. Unfortunately, they're not, which is why I'm stopping after this one.
Yeah, yeah, that was the first dub zone in like the entirety of Zero Two. I had something to say about.
Yeah. That's because it had nothing to do with the dub itself and more just like the weird kind of history behind the dub, which is,
Yeah,
something people who aren't me can talk about because you don't have to watch it to know.
Just call it the history zone.
No, God, no.
no.
The only other note I wrote down is that they refer to Omnimon as a DNA digivolve in this movie. They
They talked about how it wasn't one.
yeah they call it a warp DNA digivolve.
Liar.
See, that's the funny thing. That is a thing. That's not Omnimon, though.
Yeah, fucking Christ. Anyway, that'll wrap up the movie discussion, which means we're gonna move straight into questions because we are unfortunately on a small time limit right now, but that's fine. Okay, so the first question comes from Vidros. Given the infamous production troubles of O2, which is something I believe we will talk about a little bit in the wrap up section, do you think a remake with a more focused vision might help it? So, yes, I do think a reboot style thing for O2 would overall be a better product. However, don't you fucking do that. I'll kill you.
Yeah,
I have a very fundamental problem with the idea of that,
Yeah.
where it's like, um, if they were to do this in the current context of where we are at, because like fundamentally, like just like if they were just to take Zero Two, the sequel to the 1999 adventure,
Yeah.
and like redo it, sure, that's not gonna happen.
Hmm.
Like if we were just to talk purely on those speculative terms, yes, but we already have like movies and sequels and shit that work off of just what happens in O2 as is. And if they were to do an O2 reboot, it would not like exist in the context of a sequel to Adventure 1999.
Yeah.
It would exist in the context of as a sequel to Adventure 2020, which is just like completely different. So you're making a different show at that point.
Yep. And while I do think it would probably work out overall better, I don't want that.
Yeah. So like on a like purely like in a bubble case, sure, but like given where Digimon's at now and where adventure stuff's at now, probably not.
I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah, I also would just like them to do new stuff instead.
it's been 20 years. We can move on.
Yeah.
Give us the third movie though. January announcement, please. Okay.
Give
Yeah.
us sooner than January, for the love of God.
Well, no, they've
Well,
announced.
they've announced a thing for
yeah.
January.
Yeah.
I
And it
know.
was like the thing where they remade like a bunch of adventure scenes, and it's like they're announcing a big thing for January. It's like, oh, that's probably the third movie.
Yeah, it's almost certain. it's the third movie.
Hopefully, gonna close out all this adventure stuff.
Yeah, for the love of God, let it end.
I'm tired
we
of.
watched the third movie and it ends on a fucking cliffhanger.
I swear to God, like besides like doing stuff for Liberator, the only Digimon shit I have been engaging with for like an entire year is Digimon Adventure. I'm so fucking tired, dude.
And it's just a couple more months of it, and then we can get to see. I'm so sorry.
Man.
All right. Our second question comes from Mega Manga Man, who asks, since we know we're getting an adventure-related announcement in January, if it is a new movie or hell even a new series, what are your expectations and or hopes for it? So I guess we kind of already answered this with what we just said, but a third movie that completely wraps up the adventure shit. Be done with it. We're done. It's over. Please. If it is anything that isn't that, it will be a bad announcement. There is nothing they could possibly announce adventure related that is a good thing that is not that third and final movie.
And it also has to be like I don't need more movies after this. Like we've done the adventure movie, we've done the O2 movie. There's clearly a bunch of setup to resolve some sort of thematic thing. Might involve Yggdrasil, might not. Probably will include like Agumon and Gabumon coming back or something. Might even have like a redone part of a redone version of the epilogue from 02 or something. But like that's fine because I like those movies and I like what they set up and I'd like to see the payoff to it. But that's all I want to see. I like this franchise needs to desperately fucking move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's like the other than like the third movie is like a new anime series that's not even like remotely related to adventure.
Well, that's the problem, is that they said it was going to be adventure related, so
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like that's the only thing I would want. Like again, even if it's the first movie, it's like, oh, we're gonna set up for more movies. Like, nope, fuck off, don't want that.
Nope. No. I remember when you guys did 6 movies and they were terrible, so how are we
Yeah.
just
Air quotes movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
Piles.
hope it is something cool. Smile.
And our third question will actually just kind of lead us into the discussion of the series as a whole. So, may as well just do this one. From Anime PDX, who's your favorite arc boss and villain from either Adventure or O2? So, like,
Oh God.
yeah. So, like, for me personally, my favorite like arc boss it's gonna be Diablomon. Like,
Really, I fucking hated that guy.
I mean, yeah, I hated him, but I was like an arc boss.
I don't like. You have like 3 options here basically, and they're exactly
Over
Chimeramon
both shows.
Both shows.
for both shows.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay. I
From
thought we
either
were just-
adventure, yeah.
Okay,
Which-
so we're cutting bosses, so we're not cutting like Oikawa or Ken, right? Like that doesn't
I mean, they're
because there's like
I
a
count
separate.
them.
Okay, wait. Are arc boss and villain asked separately or like as one thing?
Arc boss / villain. So either or.
Okay. Ken or Digimon Kaiser, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, all things considered, it's probably gonna be Ken for me as well.
Like as messy as I felt the arc itself was, like Digimon Kaiser is like one thing I'll always give 02, at least like conceptually, is that Digimon Kaiser and Oikawa as villains are so much more interesting than really any of the adventure villains. Like his arc's kind of a mess, but Digimon Kaiser, there was a lot behind why he turned out like that, and like it was a really good lead into a lot of the Ken stuff later. Versus like Diablomon is like a very charismatic villain, but at the same time he's just kind of
It's
evil
just
vampire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the closest you get to anything like that from 01 is pup is Pinocchimon, and they just forget about,
Pinocchimon,
and they
yeah.
kind of just forget about that right up until right before he dies.
Yeah. So between like all of them, like again, messy as it is, Digimon Kaiser pretty easily.
Yeah,
I think
no.
yeah. It's also like compelling to have specifically like just a normal ass human as a villain.
A human who like was also a chosen child, but like through circumstance and like his own interpretation took it completely the wrong way.
Hmm.
Can I say Black or Greymon?
I don't know if he's considered an arc boss. He was just kind of a present boss throughout the series.
I guess if you can be loose with your definition of an arc and count him, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
gonna
mini
say
arc boss.
I'll say Black or Greymon then.
Cool. That's
Yay.
fair.
Okay.
Because if I don't, I'm just saying fucking. I would just also be saying Kaiser, but I'll throw a bone to Edamon. Edamon's very funny.
Yes, you know what? Fair enough.
Honest to God, like if he had more time, I would have I probably would have said Oikawa even over Kaiser. I really like a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that's like going on with Oikawa, but he just does not get the time to fully develop into much of anything.
Mhm. If they had gone straight from like the kind of wrap up to the Holy Stones being broken into just Oikawa being the focus for like the last 15 episodes, it probably would have been fucking awesome.
Yep. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Which speaking of, all right, so we're gonna move into just kind of like the wrap up for O2. It's gonna be like very loosely formatted. I'll probably have us just like rather than it being like an open discussion, I'll probably just have us talk individually and like if other people want to chime in about specifics, they can. But like just so we can all get, what we want to say specifically out first, and then we can kind of talk later. Do that. So like I guess God, I'm trying to remember how I formatted this last time because it was a live
You
stream.
kind
So
of
like
just
I
went
don't.
in a circle to talk about like favorite or least favorite this or that. But if you want to do more freestyle, I guess you kind of like pick a starting point, go clockwise, counterclockwise, and they get to
Yeah.
just talk.
Does anyone want to start in particular?
I'd probably like to go last because I have too much to say.
Okay. Okay, I guess I will start then. So, I guess like I put it like in my media thread when I finished watching O2, like I literally just said she's mid, but I like her, and that's pretty much the perfect summation of my thoughts on O2. I don't particularly like love this series. I don't hate it. It has so many fucking issues that arise mostly from production side things because there was this whole thing and like we know this now where basically for the back half of this show, I think pretty much after Digimon Kaiser wrapped up, there was like 20 people in that fucking writer room and they were just kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck.
There were also 2 directors who were just actually fighting it out over their vision getting in, which is why like it very schizophrenically that second half just jumps between mini arc to mini arc, but don't always perfectly connect.
Mhm.
There was also the issue of they brought in, early on they brought in Chiaki J. Kanaka, who came in with a whole bunch of his own ideas for that show that were now just also things they had to go and deal with.
Mhm. So they had a lot of too many cooks. Very much a situation of too many cooks. Just like they had way too many people calling the shots, and it caused just this dissonance in every single like thing in the show. And while there were a ton of really cool individual ideas, they never really gelled in a way where I thought it was like good.
Cohesive.
Yeah, cohesive's probably a better word there. But, like, I mean, I still did enjoy my time. Like, episode to episode, I was still having a mostly good time with the exception of a couple episodes that were just like, "Oh my god, this is, like, fucking nothing." And, like, yeah, if I think about it more, I start liking it less, but it's not, not really what I'm here to do. The show's 20 years old. I'm, like, not gonna get too.
I mean, effectively thinking about it more is like the entire ethos behind making a like episode to episode podcast about it. But
Well, yeah, but also, like, I don't wanna have this be an hour of us ranting and raving about every single thing that's wrong with the show. I think people already
yeah,
know what's wrong
let
with
me
the
do
show.
that. You guys can just have fun.
So, I'm pretty much gonna echo the sentiment I think everyone's going to, which is like my favorite arc was definitely, the first arc, the Digimon Kaiser arc. It's really, really good. It has a solid foundation. They don't follow up on it well enough, but what can you do? That's what happens when you have 7 people talking about what they want to do with the fucking show. Ken is fantastic. He's easily my favorite character in the show. One of my favorite characters in the franchise as a whole.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Yeah, just everything they do with him, basically start to finish, is perfect. I don't think there's really a misstep as far as the handling of Ken's character. At the very least, for him, he was consistent throughout the whole thing, and they really got it. As far as least favorites, if I have Miyako, man, girl, you deserve better.
Yeah.
Sora
Yeah.
2.0. Sorry.
Yeah.
We can't have shit in these shows.
Women can't have shit in these shows, dude. It's so rough. As much as I love Tamers, even Tamers is not going to be perfect about this.
Yeah, that. I don't really have too much to say about O2 because it's just one of those things where it's I don't know. I enjoyed it well enough. I have tons of issues with it, but I don't know. I don't have the energy to talk about them. And Bridget's gonna talk about them anyway, so
Yay. Favorite Digimon, by the way, because that was another one we had.
Oh yeah, favorite Digimon. Oh god, what was my favorite Digimon from? Huh. This is actually kind of a hard question. There's a lot of good stuff in O2 that I would just kind of jump to. I don't want to be a basic bitch, but it's probably Stingmon. I feel I think I like Stingmon more than I do even Pyodramon and any of the Imperial Dramon forms. I think Stingmon is just really, really fucking cool. Give him a full line, you assholes.
Oh, you think Stingmon's so cool, but yeah, you'd won't watch Kamen Rider Curious.
Oh my god, shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Curious and curious.
Oh my god, someone else start talking.
Hi, Momo.
Hello.
All right, Momo, what did you think about O2? Because I know you liked it. You're going to be the most positive voice in this entire thing, so go for it.
Well, then, yeah, single me out.
I-
Yeah, no, obvious. In case it wasn't obvious through the last, what is it, 11 episodes?
Yeah.
I had a much better time with this than I think everyone else. Um, I think I posted this on Twitter when I finished it at some point. Ideally, I really can't argue that it's better. I can't really tell you it's just factually better than 01. I wouldn't do that anyway. But
Mhm.
fucking I hate shit like that. Like even when the plot just starts to get really messy and just schizophrenic. I there's just something about the dynamic of the cast in this one that I think just hits me a lot better. I feel like they all just first I just think they all just play off each other a lot better than the much larger cast of 01 did.
I think a way I would put it is I think individually, I think besides Ken and even Ice Skate compared to some of them, I think the individual characters of Adventure One are stronger, but there's a much better group vibe going on in 02.
And I think that goes a long way. I do feel like you could say the same for I do feel like maybe you could also apply the same to the Digimon. I feel like you get a lot more out of Wormmon than you ever would say maybe Biomon or Gomamon.
Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah, a little bit. I've actually think Gomon's one of the better ones about it. I think he had one of the strongest partner Digimon dynamics. But
Okay, even fucking say Gabumon, where his whole thing is just I'm loyal to Yamato and that's about it.
I think they do a much better job, I guess, at least for specifically Wormmon and Beamon a little bit of kind of making the Digimon their own characters as opposed to just kind of being almost like an accessory to to their chosen child.
And then there's also Armadimon.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
I love
Dagyaa.
that I think by the end of this, I've made Armadiumon my favorite Digimon of this bunch.
I mean, you can't really like if the titles of our episodes have anything to say about it. Like Dagyaa is just too good.
He's just so adorable, and he sounds funny.
My favorite character, Armadimon's vocal tick.
Yeah.
Can you tell we have autism?
Like,
I don't know. I just got ADHD.
I guess to try and cap this off without just saying beating myself over and over. It's just like obviously, like yeah, I think the Kaiser part's the best part of the show, but even like I don't know. I think even just when it's like multiple people fighting over each other, I still think they somehow manage to like connect it all in a way that just manages to work for me. And then the end of it's like I don't know. It's hard to like really quantify, but just there's something about this show that just I end up liking it more.
Sometimes the vibes are all you need.
Yeah. I think it's totally valid. Like sometimes you just kind of vibe with like what a show does or is more than the other thing, even if you're like, yeah, obviously like this is worse in a couple ways, but like I just like this more. I like what this goes for more. I think that's totally valid. I never mean to like diminish you or anyone else for liking things about this show when I get so critical about it. It's just kind of how I feel about it.
All right, Leon, you're up.
It's
Wait,
my
wait, 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 wait.
What?
Momo hasn't given his favorite character. Well, I mean, he's given us his favorite like Digimon. What's your favorite character?
I mean, well, I do. Well, I clearly like Miyako way more than the rest of you, but I don't know if she's my favorite.
Nah.
I don't think
Um,
we dislike her.
they just said they both just said they were her least favorite. They were their least favorite character.
Necessarily
Oh no,
imply
Miyako is not
like-
my least favorite character. That spot's reserved for someone else. I think they kind of fumbled her in a lot of ways, but like ultimately, like I do actually like her better than Sora at least because I think her personality, like her baseline like personality, is more entertaining than fucking Sora, who was just kind of miserable throughout most of O1.
Oh yeah, when I say Miyako is my least favorite character, I mean it purely in the sense of the fumbling of the bag. I don't think there's anything wrong with her at a core. Just man, they do not do her justice, and that made me so upset.
Well, I guess like if I had to pick an actual favorite character, it would probably once again be probably genuine. No, this is genuine. Probably be Black or Greymon.
No, that's super
That's
valid.
fair.
He was a consideration for mine.
Just like the whole thing. It's like oh he's a dark. It's like oh he's so fucking cool, but also just the whole thing of like oh the finding like a purpose even though he's a thing that shouldn't exist and all that, and it's just yeah,
It
really
is
neat.
one of the most direct, like this, because Digimon is a lot about technology and like AI has been like a subject of multiple of these shows. It's like maybe the most direct AI gaining sentience plotline the show has done outside of like Appmon. I don't know. I think it's neat. I think there's a lot of cool messaging about it. In that.
If I had to pick, I guess if I had to pick a least favorite character, I would probably say Takeru.
That's so fair.
Like, I guess like me, like Hikari's probably not far behind, but at least like for the most part, like when Hikari says something or does something, I'm like, yeah, that's the same character from the first show.
Yeah.
Like, but Takeru, it's like he has that thing where early on he's like the sort of like ex veteran, like mentoring the new guys, but and then like he just kind of loses that, and like his only real moments of standout as a character is when he just gets weirdly aggressive to like Kaiser or about Hikari, and it's just
yeah.
he almost starts to come off like unpleasant at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I liked it.
I like it. Smile.
Okay,
I
now
like-
Leon can go.
Now you can
Now I
talk.
can go. Okay.
I hand you the bar.
I'm like the newest person here to Digimon, right? Or
Yes.
is that
Yeah.
Lot?
No, what? No, I've seen more of Digimon than I think anyone else here except maybe Bridget.
Oh, okay. Because
seen
I don't
everything.
remember when I
Yeah,
watched
I've seen
O2,
everything.
but like I watched O2 very quickly after I initially. Are you? It's fucking dog.
It's fine. It's not coming through. Go.
I watched O2 very quickly after watching O.
Right as you get the fucking bar. Holy shit, this is so funny.
As soon as I get the fucking speaking stick, this dog is like, "Hey,
You should keep this a lot. It's funny.
I'll keep the fucking phone notification too. Why not?
There's not much I can do about that.
No, I
Turn
sorry.
your phone silent.
Oh my god! Alright. Alright, is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Talk, white boy.
Speak.
Huh?
Speak.
I'm scared.
Go.
Okay!
You are now allowed to continue talking about your experience with Digimon Adventure 02.
Okay, I will. Thanks. Anyways. What the? Hold on.
You're fucking kidding
Give
me
me a
right
second.
now.
Leon, I gotta kill you, dog.
You don't gotta kill me, dog. You gotta kill dog.
This fucking
Anyways.
Christ.
I'm obviously newer to like all of Digimon, but so I watched 02 very shortly after watching 01, and generally I would say I enjoyed them. However, after going through the podcast, going through all of 02 and like looking at it through like a slightly more critical lens, I go, yeah, this has some problems, but I still think I like it. It's like if you don't think about the problems, it's just an enjoyable show. That's really like I generally consider myself full of like whimsy about shows and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that mostly stays true for 02, but then Bridget will go and point something out and I'll go, "Oh my god, wait, yeah."
Sorry.
And it makes me mad, but like I still ultimately think I enjoy the show. Like I don't know. Maybe it's the whimsy, but you know.
Really, what I'm hearing is that if this podcast has a villain.
Oh.
Anyway, Bridget, would you like to give your thoughts on Digimon Adventure 02?
Leon hasn't given his favorite. We keep forgetting about this bit.
Oh,
Leon hasn't
yeah,
given his like,
right.
favorite character,
Come
Digimon, and least
on.
favorite character.
Sorry, I didn't write anything down for this one because I'm just like, I'm tired.
All right. So favorite Digimon. I know this one seems like it because it's like Toku reference or whatever. I really like Sylphimon. Me specifically liking Sylphimon is not because of Toku or Kamen Rider. When I went and saw the 02 movie in theater this year,
Last year.
last year,
Yep.
Yep.
I was like, man, Sylphimon's really cool in this movie. Sylphimon's got a really cool design. And then I obviously watched 02 for the podcast, and I was like, man, Sylphimon's really cool. I just like Sylphimon.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Their move is called Top Gun.
Top Gun.
All right. What's your favorite character?
I like Daisuke. He's cool. He's got whimsy in him. I've got whimsy in me.
That's so true.
He's just content. He's content with what he's got.
Yeah, and he never gives up. And he's got a funny little blue friend as a friend.
All right, now name your least favorites. Who do you fucking despise?
Who do I despise? Like, I wanna say Takeru, but like, I also almost want to say Hikari, but not because she's a bad character, just because of everything that happens to her with the Dark Ocean shit. I don't know. One of those two. Don't make me decide.
All right.
Oh.
All right, Bridget.
Well, here we are.
Go ahead. Get up on your little fucking soapbox.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
Before you start,
Uh-huh.
I like how I am like, I'm saying all this as if I disagree with a single thing you are about to say, which is not true. I agree with literally every single point you're about to make. I just want that to be clear.
I think they just bother me a whole lot more than they bother like the rest of you.
I'm able to just kind of like brush stuff off to a certain extent.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I don't know. There's something about that's wrong with me where if I ever complain about something, it starts bothering me. Maybe I do have autism. Maybe I do need to get checked for that. Um, so, I'm gonna preface this first of all. I know especially for people who might have been watching who like this show, who want to see who are excited to see people talk about this show. There's always I besides one episode I've been pretty consistently on, and especially after a certain point, it's just started becoming mostly negativity from my end, and I don't like being like that, typically speaking. I like seeing the good in things. There's a lot of flawed pieces of media, but I try to put a positive spin on. Um, and I do kind of sometimes listen back to myself in these podcasts and think that I might come off a little bit harsh or unpleasant. And again, I do kind of apologize for that. Um, I guess to start off, you can expect me to never be this mean towards a show again. Even shows that I dislike on a much more harsh level, ultimately, despite all the problems I have with this show, I dislike Frontiers more, I dislike Cross Wars more, and I dislike Adventure 2020 a whole lot more than this. But my problems with those shows is a lot simpler. I don't like Frontier because I think its premise is contradictory to a Digimon, and it has the worst Dice and Ken problem. I don't like Cross Wars that much because I just think it's kind of shallow and whatever and doesn't do a whole lot for me. I don't like Adventure 2020 because it's really shallow and doesn't do anything for me. Um, but those are simple problems. They don't aggravate me that much. I'm just yeah, I don't think this works. I don't like this. Oh well, you know. The reason that I go so harsh on Zero Two specifically is because this show frustrates me. I've I think if you go back to even our initial episode on Zero Two, you can tell that immediately I'm finding these kind of fundamental problems with this thing standing as a sequel, and they kind of permeate throughout the entire show. And then there's other ways in which the production lead to a lot of that's a cool idea. Oh, that never gets followed up. Oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, that gets followed up with bad. Um, and that piles onto me. Um I think a show that I can see the good in, that I can see what it could be, but then so clearly constantly undercuts itself in these ways that I look at and go, you didn't need to undercut yourself. There was no need to go this direction. There was a better way you could have done this. Just kind of like annoys me on a different level than just a show I think is kind of just plain bad. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, and that's really I think where this all comes from. Like there's a lot about the show that conceptually or otherwise I do like. I think, I like the idea. I even despite how they go about this, I wish this handled being a sequel in a different way because I do think following up on a cast as convincingly human, I guess, is the Digimon Adventure cast in a later stage of their life while also dealing with new people who have to come in and follow up on that legacy is interesting, but again, then they do a whole bunch of kind of contradictory bullshit that kind of just doesn't means this show ultimately works better as a as an would work better rather as a standalone than as a sequel. Um, I really like certain despite everything I say about the show, I think Ken is a top three character in this franchise. I really grew to like Blackboard Greymon. I'm a Daisuke stan. Daisuke is my boy. I love Daisuke. Um, I like the Digimon in this one a lot. I think this show is actually one of the best Digimon lineups in the entire franchise. Like it's again just this thing where it's even in the Kaiser arc, there's just a bunch of episodes that I'm they either kind of break the tone, break the pace, don't add much to anything, and kind of distract from the things I find really interesting. It's just constantly kind of doing things I find aggravating and like I think dilute what the show could have been really good at. for as much as I mentioned that I like the characters that I do like, and like I like the vibe overall. I think this is a very woefully underdeveloped cast with 2 characters, but I think just flat out shouldn't fucking be here. Um, but like I kind of could get past all of that. I think the part where this show did genuinely just kind of lose me, and I started just outright not have a good time with it was like after the Black War Greymon arc, they introduced Oikawa, one of the most like fascinating, like genuinely contender for best villain of the franchise. Was he fully like paid off? And then we go waste time in the fucking world tour arc for like several episodes where just nothing relevant happens when we could have spent the time building up our fucking villain, and then that's finally over and we launch into that piece of shit Daemon arc that also isn't relevant to anything and doesn't progress the plot at all. And then finally it's Oikawa's time to shine, and the show literally has 4 episodes left. Like, the antagonist, and then he doesn't even get the full 4 episodes because then they were like, we don't have confidence in this, bring Diablomon back." They like that guy. He gets the last 2.5 episodes, basically. And it's just like, fuck, man, it's so fucking annoying. 'Cause like, with a lot of Zero Two, it's just there's so much that could have been done there, and it's just they don't fucking do it. Um Yeah, I don't know. It's such like there's individual things, entire bits of the show even that I can like isolate and go, I like that. That's fun. Um, but just I find that like the whole of the show is less than the sum of its parts, personally. And that kind of show just really deeply frustrates me. Um Well, I think I don't know if you even feel like it, Lobby. You said you had like you wanted to go in on like World Tour arc as like least favorite arc of the show or something. You had mentioned
Oh,
that to me in the call before.
yeah. So, God, I don't like because overall, just like the more I think about it, the more I've just realized like I don't know, I don't have the energy in me to like really like tear something apart. And
Mm-hmm.
part of it is because it's currently it's like 95 degrees. Part of it is because we've been doing Adventure O2 for over half a year, and I just want to fucking move on. And part
Yeah.
of it is just like, I don't know, I just don't have the energy to be mean about stuff anymore. But yeah, like World Tour is just bad. It's a completely it's wasted 3 episodes. Nothing happens. It's not useful. The best part of it is the part in Mexico, but that's only because like Ken was involved, and clearly someone actually spoke Spanish. So they did a little more with it, and it had like nice comedic beats. But just World Tour in general just sucks. Like it's bad. It's such a waste of 3 episodes.
I think more than 3.
No, it was
It's
it was
really
3.
like 4.
Technically, it
4 to
was
5
4,
ish. Yeah.
but yeah, it's bad. The World Tour is like easily just like because there was a point where I was watching where like I would like I you can look at my notes for those chapters and or chapters and those episodes and just see how like fewer notes I have for those episodes than any of the other ones because I'm just like, oh man, nothing's happening. Oh my god.
But like, and normally that like I don't mind an episodic plot, but I think it's the timing of that arc where it like
Yes,
starts infuriating me about it.
it's like I'm like struggling to remember like what happens immediately before it. It's the Blackboard
Yeah.
Greymon stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
the yeah the holy stone stuff.
right. Yeah, so we get the wrap up to the Holy Stones, which is clearly leading into something with like Oikawa and like Arukenimon and Mummymon. And then like the reason is because, Oikawa set up the Dark Towers to, try it all over the world to try and, do this and that. And it's like, okay, sure, you justified it. But also, we spend 3 episodes without the primary antagonists showing up at all. and it's so abrupt. It happens out of nowhere. The main plot is not moved along at all. There's not even character growth. Because like the character pairings we get are characters whose arcs with each other have been solved, Davis and Ken, or like characters who don't do anything, like Sora and Miyako.
Yeah.
The fucking double team of whoops, the writers fucked these two women over. Like,
And
oh
then
my god, it's so
and then I
frustrating.
really don't think it helps, but right after that's done, they launch into the fucking Daemon arc.
Yeah, the mini arc where they were trying to do something with the Dark Ocean that they give up and it just ends like 2 episodes in. It's not even an arc. It's a 2 episode thing that happens that doesn't mean anything, which could have been cool because oh, we got 3 factions now vying for these dark seeds. What are we gonna do? Oh, Daemon's gone. Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, like special category nominee, worst fucking thing ever, the Dark Ocean. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
What a
just
fucking complete waste of space.
awful. Just fucking terrible. It was a
Every
bad thing. The original concept for it is truly fucking vile and disgusting. Ugh.
it,
Ugh.
it fucks one of the primary characters over because of their like ties to that thing. Just wastes time that could have been spent on fucking anything more interesting. Doesn't even really get resolved. People still don't know what the fuck was up with the whole Digamon thing.
Yeah, that's just never followed up on. Dagamon never shows up,
Yeah,
and it does not matter.
yeah, just fucking complete waste.
That's not totally true. Dagamon does show up in Digimon Ghost Game right before the show is ending.
Not even the same day. It's not the same Digimon.
Yeah,
Well, obviously not, but he shows up again.
yeah, like sort of like sorry, like I have a lot here. And sort of like springboarding from the Dark Ocean, just like, and this is sort of going into the sequel thing, just the way that they kind of had to pretzel, like the lore of Digimon Adventure doesn't really fucking matter because like the original show was also like written as it was just like going along, like they were making shit up as they went. Um, but the ways in which they try to make things matter and try to like justify things from that were stated in the original to now accommodate this sequel, it just doesn't work for me. It just like it just feels like there were multiple episodes where I sat around and like listened to the show explain like explain itself because the events just didn't line up otherwise. And then very minorly, but just like also, like, the whole throwing ideas around the fact that, like, we had both, like, the armors the first half, and then that was really very quickly discarded for the jogresses and shit, and then like, especially the Shakamon jogress shows up really late, and then it kind of doesn't matter because Imperialmon shows up, like, 4 episodes later, it's like, eh,
Mhm.
all just kind of a bunch of weird, contradictory stuff they threw in the show, I think, but fails to really come out cohesively. So yeah, I guess just like that's kind of where I'm left. Just I like things about it, but I don't know if I could say I like this show as a like whole piece of media. Good movie though.
Yeah,
Good movie.
both movies are really good.
Yeah.
All 3 movies, I guess,
Um
technically now.
yeah. Um I guess to go for the list. Favorite well, we all fucking picked one of my favorite like there were
Just
three
well then,
characters.
you can have repeats.
I know, just like there were three particular characters I looked at as like this could be one of the favorites, and you guys picked all three of them, and I'm not fucking just like lying for a fourth. So now I gotta actually pick. As much as I do, I was surprised by Blackmore Greymon, and as much as I do like Daisuke, Ken is just the best one. Like it's not close. I'm sorry. He's just the best character in the show.
He's so
He is like the one thing that without reservation I can say this show completely like succeeded at.
Yep. Anytime it was a Ken-focused episode, I was thoroughly enjoying myself.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is like the shining star of the show. Like it's pretty obvious. Um Favorite arc, there's not a whole lot to pick from, so yeah, Kaiser. There's a lot less like smaller arcs here the way that Adventure had them. So it's just like, okay, do I like the second half stuff or do I like Kaiser more? And yeah, no, it's Kaiser. Favorite
Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah.
So it is Vmon.
Okay.
It is absolutely Vmon. It constantly battles it out with Gilmon for my favorite protagonist rookie or just rookie in general. I
Mhm.
fucking love Vmon. There's a reason why when I got into the Digimon TCG, most of my early decks, even still one of my decks was were all Vmon focused.
Mhm.
Really love him. Just a funny little dude. I love his design. I love his classification as mini dragon. Very good. I will say, however, kind of like good second place and like one that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. I never I used to not think too much about Pyildramon, but I really fucking like Pyildramon now.
He's got he's got the guns. He's got the spikes.
Yeah.
Got that cool. Got that sort of red. He's got that sort of Imperial Dramon head, but it's just all red.
In a way, like as much as I still think Pyildramon is really fucking cool, I kind of like Pyildramon more because it keeps more of the bug features of Stingmon slash Wormmon. Whereas like Imperial Dramon himself kind of feels more like, oh, that's the Vmon Mega.
Yeah,
Like you don't really get
that's
any of the Sting Wormmon stuff in that anymore. That's just kind of a Vmon Mega, I think.
yeah, that's always been my issues with the Imperial Dramon part of the line specifically was, but where's Stingmon though?
So yeah, second like really surprising second. I Stingmon is really fucking cool. Or
So good.
Stingmon. Well, I mean Stingmon is Pyldramon. I'm really tired. Um, least favorite character, Kakaru.
Yeah.
Just man, you fucked that up. You fuck. It's like obviously both him and Hikari share the thing of I think ultimately having guys from Adventure 01 there harmed more than it helped. But at least Hikari felt like she stayed true to what she was in Adventure. I was when we watched Adventure really shocked with how good Takaru was,
Yeah.
especially the way that like in the Dark Master Saga alone, like he handled Pinocchimon. He was basically the reason Piedmon went down, and like throughout the entire show, what could have been very easily a very like annoying kid, like oh I'm mature enough to be my own person, but big bro kind of character was like just a really well done like child character with like obviously a lot of the baggage about the divorce and stuff still there and like the strained relationship with Yamato. None of that really applies to Takaru and Zero Two at all. He's just he's just got nothing. Like there's like the bit where he's kind of the de facto leader, but then that goes away. There's the bit where he has like the sort of rivalry with Daisuke, but then Ken shows up, so that entirely evaporates. There's the arc where they try to have a thing about his anger outbursts with like the whole joggers thing with Iori, but that also gets resolved really quickly and anticlimactically, and you're just kind of left with a nothing character. I can't really tell you his identifying traits. None of the ones from Zero One really apply to him anymore. It The only thing you have is like Momo said, some of the outbursts which just come off as unpleasant. And again, there's the whole bit where like there's several plot points in this show that should not have happened because of the cursory knowledge that he has. The fucking Village of Beginnings, dude. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he is a overall detriment to have in this show on a lot of levels. Um, and like it was to the point when we got to the finale and like he had this whole like vision about like his family being together because of the divorce. I kind of had to look at that and go like, oh yeah, that was like a thing for you at one point, right? Like that was a thing that like kind of defined you for a bit. I kind of forgot. Whoops.
Yep.
I kind of forgot you were that kid for like genuinely sometimes I'm like, I forgot you are the kid from Zero One. Dead ass.
Yeah, no, there were genuinely certain points throughout the show where I was just like, "Oh, that's right. This is supposed to be fucking Takeru."
Yeah. No, just like total fumble on that guy. That's it.
All right,
Sorry about that.
you're fine. The expected. So, I think with that, we have officially, completely, and utterly wrapped up our conversations about Digimon Adventure 02, and we will never, ever talk about it again.
A lot was coming off in terms of content for the show.
Yeah, what are we gonna
Oh,
watch next again?
so the next thing we're going to be doing, and I don't know if this is going to be a week out or 2 weeks out, it really depends on scheduling. We are going to be watching Digimon the movie, the English dub Frankenstein's monster of our war game and Hurricane Touchdown, because A, Leon's never seen it before, and B, it's going to be really fucking funny. That is going to be a live stream. We are all going to be in a call doing a Twitch stream, I guess on my channel, because fucking,
Yeah.
Uh,
Check it
and
out.
yeah, check it out. It'll be linked on my. Who cares?
You will know where it is.
Yeah. So what's going to be happening is we're going to be watching the movie, not on stream, obviously, because that is illegal. But we will be watching it in the background together, and you all will be encouraged to, like, there's going to be a countdown and everything. Watch along with us, and we are going to live commentate over the movie. We're going to do
Like the acquire it through various means. Heck,
yeah.
I doubt it's that hard to actually just. Heck, if you want to go legit, I doubt it's actually that hard to get a proper DVD copy these days.
No, not at all. You could probably just fucking. It's probably you could probably buy it on like
Unfortunately, the Discotheque Blu-ray will not be out yet by the time we
Yeah.
do this. They're still working on that.
damn shame. That's fine. That's not the real one. Well, I guess that has both versions on it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have the original.
Try get one of those funny like DVD for kids releases where it's in like some fucking bright little plastic thing
Yeah,
with,
they were
with a handle.
like it's out of print, but it was so mass produced, but you can still find copies for like less than $10. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, it's real easy. And then after that, I believe we'll probably be taking a very short break because, like after the live stream event, the next piece of content is going to be rather difficult from a scheduling perspective. Because I do want to do it week, like bam, 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 bam. Because dear fucking god, I do not want to spend more than 2 months on doing Try. We're doing all of Try, all 6 movies in quotes. Hopefully, 1 week after another, and as I mentioned before, hopefully with a different guest on every single episode. It will be very difficult to schedule. I'm not gonna lie, in all likelihood, it will not actually be 6 straight weeks in a row with a different guest on every single one, because can you fucking imagine trying to schedule that with online friend groups? It's not fucking happening, but I'm going to do my best. I will be
Also,
prioritizing having the guests over it being week.
yeah. Also, at some point, that episode on those manga chapters will come out, so you understand what the fuck this Dynasmon's about. That's been here for like 3 episodes.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't had the time to edit it. It's not even that long. I just have to do extra editing work because Bridget was on a shittier mic because like, there was a bunch of circumstances. So it takes some
Yeah.
extra effort to do. Sorry. It'll be out eventually.
I just find it really funny that this Dynasmon's been here for multiple episodes and like no one has any idea what the fuck this is about.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And then when the fucking episode actually comes out, the intro is going to be about the last batch of O2 episodes, I think.
Yep.
Oops.
We really fumbled that one.
It's fine. It happens. But yeah, that's all for upcoming content. And then the show's over. We're not going to be doing anything after a try, unfortunately. We're retiring.
I swear to God, if you made me end on fucking O2 and try right before some of my favorite shit in this franchise, I would fucking murder you in your sleep.
No, of course not. I went over this in the 1 year anniversary video, etc. But after try, we're doing Kizuna and beginning, and then we were be going into fucking Tamers. Finally, probably at this point, sometime late this year.
I need Tamers so bad, dude. Fuck.
Tamers is going to be a very enjoyable experience because I think Tamers is probably going to be the most positive the entire call is going to be. Probably.
I mean, I've never seen Tamers. I've seen like the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, that's right, Leon. You'll be experiencing it for the first time. That'll be interesting.
Oh, we get to do the thing we used to do with Angel, where we
Yeah.
could be like, "Hey, how you feel about these?" Or the first time watcher.
Yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, like Tamers is, arguably the best season. So it is very beloved in the
It
fandom.
is.
So
It is also our like it'll also be extra nice for us because it'll finally be our fucking break from the adventure continuity.
yes, which we will be taking a break from for a while because we're not going back until reboot, which is like 2 years down the line, probably more
I
than that.
guess like if the movie comes out, like
Oh yeah,
we'll
that'll
see.
almost
Well,
certainly come out before reboot.
The thing with the movie though is if they don't release it in Europe again, it's gonna be like a me and Lot like
Oh god, it's gonna be
like
the
spoiler cast.
yeah. We could probably grab someone for like a guest on that who has seen it because I'm sure there will be someone else who watches it.
Probably Angel, right? Because Angel saw.
Probably. Angel did see the beginning in theaters. Anyway, we're getting
I'm
off
gonna be
track.
so mad.
Let's go. Let's end the video now.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in
Next
a
time.
week or 2, depending on how we're all feeling. Follow my personal Twitter to find out when that's going to be happening, because I will be the one announcing it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's been